What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814EDC, and today I'm ready to bring my full review to you guys on the WE Knives Upshot. So this was a knife that I purchased from my buddy Jake over at the Bearded Gear channel. You guys know who Jake is, obviously. But he was selling, I think, like 4 or 5 knives for, I think it was Blade Show West. It was like it was probably 2 months ago at this time. I don't think it was CCKS. I think it was Blade Show West. He was selling them, and he had this on there, and I messaged him about it, and we chatted, and he gave it to me for a really good price, kind of a friend deal. So I have to thank you for that, Jake, and I'm really glad to have this in. I think it's a really, really cool knife, and I'm just going to put this out there right now. I don't know if this will be, a keeper in the collection, or if this will be something I move. It's kind of up in the air as of right now, but I'm super glad to have this right now and have been able to check it out and carry it, because it's a really cool knife at the end of the day. So especially when I got it for such a good price from a buddy. And Jake bought it from, I think he got it used from someone else, like a prize pack. So I am the third owner of this knife, but it's in really good shape, and I've really enjoyed having it. So getting into materials, this is a titanium frame lock knife by WE. Has a flipper tab up there, real minimalistic. I really like how they did that flipper. WE's logo there. It's sort of like a brass-ish reflective little logo. Really like that. On the back side here, obviously, like I said, it's a frame lock. This does have a Civivi, a black Civivi loop-over style deep carry clip on it, which I'm super glad the original owner did, because these Upshot knives come with, I think I have it in the box somewhere, but I don't want to dig it out. They come with like a Damascus clip, which is like anodized blue. That doesn't match this knife at all. It's a blacked out knife. Why on earth would you put a blue Damascus clip on there? I'm not a huge Damascus fan to begin with. I think they're kind of tacky looking, kind of gaudy looking when they're put on pocket clips and stuff like that. Maybe like a pivot collar is okay, but like a full-blown titanium or a full-blown Damascus pocket clip, kind of iffy for me. But it is in the box. I just don't feel like getting it out right now. So he put a loop-over style deep carry clip on here that is a Civivi clip. So fits perfectly, obviously, because Civivi is a WE brand. And I think it fits the knife awesomely. I think it just looks real good, and it, all black, so it matches very, very well. But then you have that another brass, the pivot screw there. Looks good. You got 2 barrel spacers back here. Or sorry, 2? 3, I guess. 2 barrel spacers and a lanyard post. You can put a lanyard on. This is a 20 CV blade. Sort of like, I don't even know what this would technically be classified as. It's kind of a drop point, but it's like a spear point as well. Definitely sort of a basic utilitarian blade. You have a nice finger choil there. Like I said, this is 20 CV, which is, trying to show you guys. Right there. And these are also numbered, so this is 238 out of 410. There's 2 versions of this. There was this one, and then I believe a like stonewash blade one. I don't know if they made 410 out of all of them, or if the blackout version has 410 and the stonewash version has 410. I never really looked into that, so I'm not totally sure. But for skeletonization, there actually is no milling on this knife. But it has a very good weight to it. It's not heavy at all. It's relatively lightweight, but I'm actually surprised that there's no milling at all on this. The blade is flat ground. It's a full flat grind. Actually not full, because you have a little bit of a swedge here, but it's basically a full flat grind, nice and tall. It's relatively thin behind the edge. Definitely not the thinnest knife I've ever felt, but very, very usable. Very, very adequate for EDC tasks. And yeah, I think that's all for materials. So jumping into action, this is a flipper only knife, which I'll get into in a minute. But like I said, this is a very minimalistic flipper. I think it looks good. I think it functions well. It has jibbing from the front that rolls over to the top, and you can just get a real good purchase on it without slipping off there. And the bang comes right out to that nice blade. Frame lock has good access to it. Just a really, really well-built knife. Action's very good. I know WE kind of has a reputation for having light detents. like I know Kevin, my buddy Kevin from Left EDC, he is very critical of WE. I think every one, but maybe one or two knives that he's gotten from there has had a detent that he is not, you know, happy with, of course, because he is the detent diva. Yeah, so the detent on this is very well done. It says dead center. I forgot to mention that in the first category, but yeah. So flipper tab, very very nice. Has really good, you know, action. Try to fail it. So you can fail it, but you really have to try. I mean, as long as you just pull it out of your pocket and bang it open, it's gonna come open. I feel like that's the case for every knife detent. You can fail every knife detent, pretty much every knife detent, if you really, really concentrate and try. But, you know, in a real world scenario where you're going to use it, you're just going to pull it out, bang it open, and you're good. So now I did think that this was flipper only because that's what it appears to be. But you have enough blade that sticks out of this handle. You can take your middle finger and you can middle finger flick it, which I think is a very cool hidden little Easter egg. You can get enough like pressure and it comes right out of there, and it's very reliable. So that adds a whole new aspect to this knife, which I really, really like. Just fun. Like, I don't know. I'm just like, sometimes I think I had another knife that I could do this with. I forget which one it was though at this point, but I think it was one of the artisan knives I had in, like the Cazador or something. I think it's a Cazador that I had in on a review. It kind of had the same thing where it had a knife sticking up out of the scale, and you could flick it out with your middle finger. So just you know, another cool way that you can interact with this knife and you can fidget with it, and that just adds value to it, in my opinion. In closing action, this is on bearings. It drops to your nail really, really well, and you just gotta shake it closed. So as soon as that lock bar gets out of the way, it just drops. Very, very smooth. I don't think Jake took this apart. I haven't taken it apart yet, so this has been through 3 owners, and it's still very, very smooth. Maybe a little bit of KPL could maybe help it and make it even more droppy after it hits your thumb, but to me that's a good enough action, especially for WE. It's just, you know, very smooth. Just gotta shake it shut. Sometimes, you know, you can either drop it, shake it once, or you can do like what I'm doing here and shake it. Just depends on what your mood is. So action is very, very well done. Next up is Ergos, and this thing is super, super comfortable to use. I mean, if you look at the handle, it does have, I mean, it's just straight and straight. It has a little bit of a curvature to it, of course, but it's very utilitarian. It's very simple. I mean, if you look at this knife, to me, this is just a very simple knife. I know it's a very basic answer, but you know, if you choke back, has this little flipper tab, of course, you can sit behind. Very nice natural restriction point. I can still get all 4 fingers on there very, very easily. It's super comfortable. You do have some jimping up top here. Yeah, it's super, super comfortable. You can just, you know, get locked in there, and then you use that choil, you can choke up even more, and you really get locked in there to do some real precise cuts, whatever you're doing for it. And you still have plenty of knife sticking out the back here. So I feel like guys with like huge hands, like Kyle over at D2M Knives and Gear has like ginormous hands. I think this is a really nice knife for him because, you know, you have that choil to where you can choke up, and it's super comfortable. Like, I don't know, the titanium's well rounded on the corners, like there's no hot spots in the knife. Just ergonomics, like I think that it's outstanding for Ergos. I think we did a really, really well done job, or they did a really good job on this from an Ergo standpoint, and from really every standpoint, in my opinion. I think this is you know, one of WE's better knives. So Ergos are good. Next, that takes me to Carry, and Carry is also very well done, guys. You know, like I said, they have that CVV clip on there, so it goes literally to the butt end of the knife. I mean, this thing is sitting way down in your pants. Just boop, and it carries super well. It's not a huge knife, it's kind of a medium-sized knife, so and the flipper tab is so minimal that even if you have to reach down in there, you might touch it a little bit and get caught on it because it does have some jimping, but it's, I mean, that's what a flipper tab should be. I just think that sometimes you have too big of flippers. Like, for example, I just did a review on the Riot K2s. I mean, if you compare these pocket clips, obviously one is bigger than the other, so like I would rather have the smaller one. But yeah, just, you know, even for having no milling or anything like that, this knife is pretty lightweight, just sits in the pocket super well. Just, I can't really complain about it, guys. It's just a good carry knife. So that leads me to my final category of price point and, you know, what I recommend this knife. I've been doing this for 10, almost 11 minutes. I'm kind of blowing through this review, but I really just have good things to say about this knife, guys. It's just, I can't think of one bad thing. So price point, these go for, I believe, or they did go for, I don't know if they're still available or not. This has been out for a couple months now. $210, I think, was the price on these, brand new from the factory. So at that, we're gonna talk about that price point for a minute. $210 for really nice titanium, a super utilitarian blade, you know, killer ergos. It's nicely, you know, it carries very well in the pocket. It's nicely contoured, good action with the flipper and with the kind of hidden little Easter egg. You can middle finger flick it as I mess up there. Just all that for $210. I think that's a very, very good price. 20 CV, so titanium 20 CV. Just, I think that's a really good deal. I had been interested in these since I saw them come out. I just didn't have the funds at the time to spend on it. I just had other stuff going on, but I'm super glad I picked this one up, and especially for the price that Jake sent it or sold it to me for. That was another reason why I jumped on it, because it was just too good of a price for the materials in the knife to not try it out. So that's exactly why I took it, and I'm super glad I did. I've had nothing but, you know, really positive experiences with this knife. One bad thing that I kind of get annoyed with is when I had it one day, I was wearing jeans, of course, and the little rivets on the pockets of the jeans, you can't really see it now because I kind of rubbed it out to a point where you can't see it. But right back here on this flat area, when I put it in my jeans at one point, the rivet like put a huge like scratch in it, and it kind of ticked me off just because, I don't know, stuff like that annoys you. But it did kind of rub. I can see it a little bit, but it has to catch the light in just the right exact, you know, area. But excuse me. But that's gonna happen with, you know, sort of a light or light black wash PVD coating type thing. You're gonna get scratches easily, but just something I wanted to note. But I would absolutely recommend this knife. Like I said, I don't know if you can still get them from retailers or from WE directly. I have a feeling that you probably can't because they are in limited supply, but I could absolutely be wrong. So definitely, you know, check it out, or check out different retailers if you're interested. And if you are and you can't find one from a retailer, definitely check the secondary. Check like Knife Swap on Reddit, different Facebook groups if you're interested, because they are really, really good knives. So, and like I said, I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna sell this one. In the perfect world, and I'm sure every knife guy can relate from this, but I feel like for me, it's a little bit more relatable. You know, I wish I could keep every single knife that I have in my collection, but that's just how knife collecting goes. You get some in, and sometimes you sell 3 or 4 of them to go after one. And at my point in my collection, this would probably be one of the ones to go, just due to other knives that I have in and stuff like that. And I'm not saying that it will, but definitely it won't surprise me if I make like a knife, if I make a sale video in like a month or something like that, and this is part of it. So yeah, but it's a really good knife. And I know Jake gave it really high regards too. Like I think he said that he couldn't justify keeping it probably because at where like the rate where he plays in, I mean, he's into some pretty high end stuff now, so he's kind of moved past, not past, but well, I forget how he worded it, but He said that he could appreciate what it was, and he gave a very positive review on it too. I think he said that he liked it so much, but he was selling it, something along those lines. So, I mean, that should give you some good reprimand too if Jake gives this knife a really good review based on what he has experienced and the knives he has in his collection. So, yeah. I hope you guys were able to get a good sort of grip, I guess you could say, on my thoughts on this knife. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Sometimes I know I do that, but yeah, this was my full review on the WE Knives Upshot. I think one of WE's best knives to come out in a couple years. I think they absolutely killed this knife. Action, ergos, fit finish, materials, all of that put together made for a killer knife. So, and if you are interested in one of these and you can't find one, keep an eye on the channel just in case I happen to sell this in the future. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. I greatly appreciate you guys. I always say that, but I really do appreciate it. If you guys haven't checked out my 500 subscriber giveaway, please go check that out. I posted it on Monday of this week. You guys are probably going to be seeing this on Friday or Saturday, so it'll be like the third or fourth video back. So go check that out. It runs until Monday, December the 13th, and has some good stuff to give away. So thank you guys so much. I hope you guys have a fantastic day and weekend if this is on the weekend when you guys see this, and I'll talk to you guys next week.